Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking something called the noise tax, and we're going to show you exactly how to transition from being a platform employee to building a true scalable empire. Let's dive in. We're going to step right into the boardroom today because we need to solve a massive problem that is absolutely draining high-performing founders, and that is posting for relevance instead of revenue. Our source material drops a hard truth right out of the gate. Visibility without strategy is just vanity. Look, if your content lacks a specific destination, you aren't actually marketing. You're really just making noise in an incredibly crowded room. You're basically shouting into a void without a map, just kind of hoping someone magically figures out how to buy from you. And what does all that constant, aimless shouting create? Well, the source material defines it perfectly as the noise tax. It's the sheer exhaustion caused by posting for relevance instead of actual results. This reframes the whole problem beautifully, because this burnout you're feeling, it isn't a failure of effort on your part. You were probably working harder than anyone else. Actually, it's a technical disconnect between your daily activity and your actual business intent. You're paying a huge tax in time, energy, and sanity, simply because you've forgotten why you wanted to be seen in the first place. To fix this, we need a total paradigm shift. Right now, you might be operating as a platform employee. And what does that mean? It means you're posting constantly just to satisfy an algorithm, basically keeping users on a platform that you don't even own. The goal of this explainer is to transition you into an intent-driven CEO. A real CEO doesn't post for likes. A CEO posts to drive a specific strategic action. You have to make the content work for you, not the other way around. Let me illustrate this with a quick micro-story from the source material. I recently spoke with a solopreneur who was trapped right in the middle of this. He took the whole post constantly advice straight to heart. He was churning out value posts, behind-the-scenes stories, lifestyle photos. He was posting 3 times a day. He was literally everywhere. But here's the kicker. Despite all that high engagement, he had 0 new clients. He was completely broke and totally exhausted. He had all the vanity numbers, sure, but his sales weren't moving an inch. So when we sat down to audit his visibility efforts, I asked him this one simple, incredibly powerful question about a recent piece of content. What is the specific strategic outcome of this post from Tuesday? And his answer? Absolute silence. He couldn't answer the question. He was suffering from such severe noise fatigue that he was just posting out of sheer habit, terrified of becoming invisible. That silence revealed the ultimate technical disconnect. He realized, right then and there, that 90% of his visibility efforts were completely purposeless. He was chasing likes instead of leads. And this brilliantly illustrates a core law of digital business. You absolutely cannot build a scalable empire on a foundation of empty likes, algorithmic approval, and vanity metrics. Traffic isn't just about raw numbers, it is about intent. If you want to scale, the purposeless posting has to stop. Okay, so how do we actually fix it? The source material introduces this brilliant framework called the Strategic Outcome Protocol. You can think of this as the primary architectural brick of any high-conversion brand. This protocol takes your visibility from being this vague, stressful goal and turns it into a precise, highly effective tool. It demands that every single piece of content you produce serves a master. You're no longer just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. You're engineering a specific path for your ideal client. Let's look at the mechanics of how this actually works. Under the Strategic Outcome Protocol, every single post must do one of these 3 specific jobs. Number 1, educate. Does this post build your authority and solve a specific problem for your audience? Number 2, qualify. Does this post filter out the wrong people while attracting the right ones? Or number 3, convert. Does this post lead to a clear destination or drive a specific buying action? If your drafted post is none of the above, you do not hit publish, you keep it in your notes, and you delete the draft. It really is that ruthless. Let's go back to our founder for a second. We did a ruthless audit of his visibility plan using this exact protocol. Every single draft was put through the test. The result? We cut his overall content output by a massive 60%. Let that sink in. He went from posting frantically 3 times a day to posting significantly less. Now, for someone addicted to the dopamine hit of constant visibility, that feels absolutely terrifying. It feels like disappearing. But the business reality? That tells a totally different story. Because while his vanity engagement, the empty likes, the random comments from people who were never going to buy anyway, naturally dropped, his actual conversion rate tripled. It went up 3x. And why? Because he finally stopped talking to everyone and started talking directly to the right people. Quality completely replaced quantity. By doing 60% less work, he tripled his business results. simply because his content finally had a specific destination. And this is the ultimate paradigm shift the source material wants you to walk away with. The shift from frantic frequency to surgical strikes. You have got to abandon the exhausting daily maintenance of social media feeds where you're really just trying to prove you still exist. Instead, you need to find peace and ultimately profit in the silence between strategic, surgical strikes. Strategy beats frequency every single time. Now it's your turn. I want you to actively apply this right now. Look back at your last 3 posts on whatever platform you use most. Audit them. Did they educate, qualify, or convert? Did they actually have a specific business destination? If they didn't, they were a waste of your time. You really have to ask yourself a hard question today. Are you building a real, scalable empire, or are you just acting as an unpaid content creator feeding someone else's platform? If you are posting just because you feel like you have to, rather than because it's actually leading somewhere, it is time to stop the noise and start the strategy. If you're a founder ready to trade that frantic frequency for highly profitable surgical strikes, and you want to truly master purposeful posting, taking the next logical step is absolutely crucial. You don't have to figure this all out alone. You can find more resources and join the community by visiting 365freedom.online. So what is the strategic outcome of your very next post going to be? Check out the link, audit your feed, and let's start building that empire.